Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Vertical Take with Jennifer and Taha. This is episode 61, and we have a beautiful foreigner from the other side of the planet, Declan Clifford.
Oh, it's me.
Yes, it's you!
You're a foreigner. Beautiful foreigner. Sneaking up on me.
All the way from jolly old Australia.
That's me. Hello.
Yes, it did take a lot to get him on here. I think we messaged him when we first launched back in August. And then he's like, September. And then October.
They keep you
But
guys
hey, he's a
busy,
busy
which is
man.
good.
We got it.
No,
We got it.
yeah, we're in it. So I'm just going to dive into the first question. So, Declan, for those of you who may not know you personally, who is Declan Clifford?
Oh my God. Who is I ask myself that same question every day. I mean, how do you sum yourself up? But I mean, as you said, I'm from Australia. I'm from a tiny part of Australia called Tasmania. Well, we don't think it's that tiny, but it really is. It's a little island off the mainland of Australia. And I grew up and I lived there until I was 25. And I was a theatre kid growing up. I was doing theatre in high school, but Tasmania is an interesting place because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of possibility. I don't know if you guys can relate to this where you grew up, but sometimes when you're in a space that there isn't a lot of creativity around you, that doesn't feel accessible and possible. So while acting was always a dream, it felt like something that people in faraway lands do, and that it felt very not available for me. I think I probably had very, very low self-esteem too. So the idea of just being on camera or being on stage eventually was just like, no, I can't do this. Yeah. So I ended up doing a law degree. I did a law and economics degree for 5 years. And then I worked as a commercial lawyer. My first year out of law school was spent on a case where two salmon companies were fighting each other. This is random law, but I think you can make a vertical out of this, truly. And so you can imagine me as little, I think I was like 24 at the time. My whole first year out of law school, I was looking at pictures of dead fish because these companies were arguing that they were like contaminating the waters and trying to shift the blame. So as a junior lawyer, you often do discovery. So you sort through evidence. So that's just me. So that's when I knew I wanted to become an actor. No, but I did all through that degree. I wasn't feeling purposeful, and I didn't love it, but I just kind of thought that work was something that you're meant to struggle through. Right. And I think there had to be this gradual building of confidence again to start going into acting classes, to start dipping my toe in that world. And I did that. And then eventually my now husband and I met. He was been acting since he was 12.
Oh, wow.
Very keen to going to the US, very keen to come over. And I thought, why not? Life's a big adventure, a big experiment.
Yeah.
So we moved over April last year. We've been here since then. And I actually did a vertical back in Australia, though. This is how I got into verticals. But that was kind of my transition from law to acting to the vertical space. And I mean, there's lots of stuff in between, but we won't bore with the micro details.
Yeah, no, keep it to the... Yeah, keep it straight on.
Picture.
No, perfect. No, that's really good. And I feel like mainland Australia does not really look at Tasmania as its own. Like, there's a lot of beef going on between the both of them.
Yeah, Tasmania's the butt of the jokes for sure. Like,
right.
Mainland is always kind of like, where's your second head?
They always taking the little piss, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if that's like the same in any parts of the US, like that you guys make fun of certain parts of the US or UK.
But... Northerners do like to take the piss out of the Southerners.
Okay.
And vice versa.
But the Northerners win because our arguments are stronger.
I'm staying out.
It's okay.
I am but an innocent Tasmanian.
So, being in Tasmania, you should have, well, I'm assuming you've seen the Southern Lights.
Well, I think it's at specific, like you can see it on specific occasions, right? I don't
Right.
have a specific memory of seeing them. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking that, no, I haven't. And is that really bad?
You've lived there half your life.
I'm going back soon, so maybe that's my chance.
Isn't it summer now?
True. It's something to tick off the bucket list later.
But I mean, here in the US, there are things that we haven't seen. Like the Statue of Liberty.
Uh-huh.
There are like you haven't even seen the Statue of Liberty, and you live in New York.
Correction, I have seen it. I just haven't
Yeah,
stepped foot on the island. There's a difference.
yeah.
Well, I was talking about nature, not monuments.
What inspired you to get into acting? It's
Yeah,
just
I think it was a really roundabout journey for me, and I don't think there was any one specific point, but there was a lot of moments that led up to it. So I think as a kid, I'd always kind of escaped into imaginary worlds, and I'd found a lot of comfort and solace in characters and movies and shows, but I didn't quite know that was available, as I said. And then I think when I moved to Melbourne, Australia, and I started experimenting with a lot of different things at that time, that's when I was kind of introduced to that world. I was going on to sets and I saw it as a real profession. And I saw professionals working who weren't necessarily movie stars either, but they were working actors. And I got to understand more about the technicality of it and what goes into preparing for a role. And I got obsessed with it. And I think a lot of actors can relate to this. Once you get into your first acting class, it's terrifying, but also very, very exhilarating at the same time. I remember I was like shaking like a leaf at the time, but it's also the most alive that I'd felt. And I was very lucky. Once I got back into classes, I booked a theatre show quite quickly afterwards. And just that process of taking a character and working on it for a really long time, it's just such a rewarding process because you kind of fall in love with your characters in a lot of ways and they become like a little part of you. And for me, it's one of the things I love about it most now and why it's stood the test of time as my career is because you're living so many different lives in one. Each character you learn something from, they teach you something about yourself, they teach you something about the world, the time period they're in as well.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating. You're never bored.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Declan, looking back at your career so far, was there a role or moment that meant to you the most?
Yeah, I think sort of touching on what I said before, that first show that I booked was the validation that I could work as a professional actor. That was a show called Holding the Man, which is based on a memoir written by Timothy Conograve. And it's a very famous book in Australia, and it got written as a play back in 2002, and there's been yearly seasons of it, and I did the 2023 season. And that role just meant so much to me because, one, I was portraying a real-life person, which up until that point I hadn't. It's an incredible love story. It's very tragic. And for me as a performer, it was that validation of like, wow, I've got something on my own. I've booked this big thing. I can do this. Because I think if there's anyone listening who's starting out a career in the arts later in life, you have to deal with a lot of negative self-talk and a lot of limiting beliefs of going like, do I belong? I haven't been doing this since I was 16, like some people have. And you really have to push past that. So that role meant so much to me that was really a life-changing role because it set me on this whole path, really.
Yeah. So every actor faces their share of challenges. I mean, verticals is a challenge in itself. What's one obstacle you've had to overcome and how did it shape you? And this doesn't necessarily have to be about verticals. It can just be in general.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the rejection. The rejection is something that you have to overcome. I'm sure, you've had so many actors on this podcast and I'm sure some of them have shared this, but not taking it personally and not letting it mean something. And you have to craft your own narrative around what that means. So I'm a big fan of going, no is a not yet, or no is a redirect into something else. And you really do just have to have that pig-headed mindset with it if you want to succeed in an industry that requires you to create and to be vulnerable, because you keep having to show up as vulnerable and believing that you're worthy and standing a chance, even if you've got 100 no's. Because if you're going into that with the mindset of, I'm not worthy, this isn't for me, before you've even done the thing, like, what chance are you going to have? So, but that's hard if you've had so many no's before. So your mindset is everything. And so I think that's been the biggest challenge, is keeping an elevated mindset, staying open, and continuing to persist, I think.
Yeah. Well, just piggybacking off of rejection, we do know that rejection is a huge part of the industry. How do you stay confident and keep moving forward when things don't really turn out your way?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I ask myself a lot, of how to do that. So I think the thing is keeping a journal of wins you've had. This has been a real life-changing thing for me. I think it's important. Our brain, we have that bias towards the negative. So actually keeping a list of your wins, and you can look back and go, oh, wait, hang on, I did that and that and that and that, and this happened. And you're like, oh, okay, I don't feel so bad. So like a little positive evidence folder is really helpful too. Again, just knowing that it isn't personal. There's often a vision for the show that might have nothing to do with your ability. It's just your natural energy doesn't match what they had as the vision for that show. It doesn't speak to your ability or worth as a person. And I think the hardest thing as well for an actor, but I think it's a process we continually have to go through, is not defining your worth by the amount of bookings you get, which is hard because we derive so much value from being on set and creating. That's like the joy. Like when the show comes out, that's not the joy. It's the actual process of being on set. An actor is just like obsessed with being on set because it's such an energy. And so it's very hard to not entangle your worth with that, because you do derive so much joy. But some strategies that I've personally found is just filling your life with as many meaningful people, experiences, joy as you possibly can, and squeezing as much joy and beauty out of life as you can. And that helps for sure. That helps with the confidence. It helps just bring you back to like, you're a person on a floating rock going around space right now. So
literally, no, literally.
So what has been the toughest scene that you've had to film thus far?
To film? Or okay.
Film.
I think there's this is probably going to surprise you. The toughest scene I had to film was my first feature film that I did. And it's not because the scene itself was challenging, or it was just run-of-the-mill, a couple having a conversation. The reason it was so challenging was because the environment was so overwhelming and frightening, and I hadn't had much experience on film sets yet. And so that was really challenging, like just, oh my God, like hitting the mark, finding the light, not letting the nerves just crumble you. That was really challenging for me, that first film. And I think everyone can relate to, the first time you do something, you're just petrified out of your mind. So I do think back at that and think, oh my gosh, like that was so hard for me at that time. Now, of course, with Verticals, we're on set, every week. So it's like the muscle has been built. But in terms of like emotionally challenging and draining, Holding the Man was very, very challenging because those characters ended up both dying of AIDS. And so that was a very difficult, emotionally taxing show to do, because it starts with them in love at 15 years old, and it charts their 15-year journey to when they both pass away at 30 and 32. And so to put into your physicality the physical decline of someone,
Mhm.
that's quite confronting. So that was, very, very rewarding, obviously. But, as soon as the lights come on and everyone's crying in the theater, you're like,
I know.
how do I?
I know.
Well, I have a question because when I was doing my research for the questions and things like that, I seen not an advertisement, a trailer for a horror comedy type film that you were in. I think it's a short.
Mhm.
It was like you guys were all on stage. It was like you had to keep performing or you die.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah.
Is
Hive.
that out? Because
Yes.
I only see the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Hive. Yes. So Hive, what we did with Hive, the whole first season is written, and what many people do when they have got a concept to pitch, they film a proof of concept. So we filmed the full first episode. It's got around, actually won quite a few awards in the festival circuit, which is great. And the
Right.
hope is with that's enough to pitch it to a streamer as well. I
Right.
don't think they've publicly released the full episode yet because it's still in
No.
that pitching process.
Mhm.
But that was a really cool concept because it was like Squid Game meets a sitcom. All these people have agreed to be as part of this show, but they have no memory of why. And it's kind of a
Right.
commentary on the way we perform in our life and for social media. And so it's a cool concept.
It looked good, like the trailer. Like I was interested, and I was like, "Where can I find it?"
Yeah, where is it? I first to know.
Oh, okay, yeah, let me know.
Yes.
Exclusive right there.
Exclusive.
So, Declan, you've become one of the most recognizable faces in the vertical storytelling world.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What first drew you into that world specifically, and what keeps you excited about it?
So what drew me in, I had no idea what a vertical was. I'm sure you've heard this a million times. I had no idea what a vertical was. The way it was pitched in Australia at that time, back in 2023, was fantasy romance. And I was like, fantasy romance? Hell yeah. Like, I love the Vampire Diaries. I love Teen Wolf. I'm like, I'm so
Right.
there. It's childhood
Yeah.
dreams come true. And I got the audition material and I was like, okay, an alpha and a beta, interesting. And they had me read for both characters, even though I was like, no, I'm Daniel, I'm the beta. And they were
Right.
like, no, read for both. And I was like, okay, guys, whatever. And they had me read for the alpha character first, and they were just like blank. They were like, and then they were like, okay, read for the beta character, and they did, and they were like, much better.
Right.
You warned them.
I did. I truly did. I was an honest actor.
At least you got beta, not omega or gamma.
It's true. It's true. And honestly, that vertical was amazing. Like it didn't have any specific vertical tropes other than that it was a werewolf one and there was a love triangle, but it was amazing. Like we had magic, we had the love triangle, and I was hooked. I was like, this is amazing. And it was
Right.
through that filming process, I understood that it was going on Shortmax. I understood what Shortmax was. I did a bit of research, and I think I found maybe Seth the Dean's show he did for Shortmax, and I was like, oh, okay, I understand what this is now. And then filmed that, came over to LA, and of course, the casting sites are just full of verticals. And the second vertical I did was Scrubs Heartbeat, which was also done by Shortmax. So the same people who did Lycan King. So I think there was some probably good, I guess, connection there from having done Lycan King with them. And then it just took off from there. And you asked what keeps me back in the world. It's an opportunity to play fun characters, meet great people, create things that people are watching. I think sometimes the hard thing as an actor is you might be creating short films, you might be doing stuff, but not a lot of people are seeing them. Whereas verticals seem to have a fantastic reach. So there's this community aspect to it. People are enjoying the work. They're having fun with it. There's the review sites like yours. There's a little community, and that makes you excited to create stuff for people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now I do have to ask you. You mentioned Short Max, and you mentioned Seth the Dean.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I asked that is because my very first vertical that got me into vertical was Seth the Dean as a werewolf. Was it Call Me Alpha?
Yes.
Or that was that was the one because Matt Macedo directed it. And
Yes.
that was the very first, that's the one that got me started on verticals.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's so weird. Like I remember because when they told me it's going on this thing called Short Max, and I was like, okay, what's Short Max? I looked it up.
Yeah.
His vertical was the first thing. And I was like looking, and I was like, who is this person? And I was like looking up the actors, and it's so weird to like have now met him in the flesh after that.
Right.
That full circle moment of me being on set in Australia going, what is this thing?
See, I would love to go and like just be able to speak to him, not because of like who he is, but just because he was the one that got me into
He's
vertical.
the OG. Yeah, he's the OG.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer, you spoke to mine, who got me into it.
Oh yeah.
What was your first vertical?
The Double Life of Michael
Jared
Winner.
Harper. Yeah, Jared Harper.
It was his first vertical too that he filmed.
That's a common one that got a lot of people sucked in.
It's because they were advertising that one so heavily. It was unbelievable. It was everywhere.
That Real Short?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry.
But
Zip?
but yeah, I just thought I would ask that because like when you mentioned that, I was like, Short Max, Seth the Dean, those are the same. Okay, cool, awesome.
You know.
So as we all know, there are a lot of misconceptions about these like little short stories, these verticals. What's one myth you'd love to clear up once and for all?
You can curse on here. You can say anything. It's fine.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
I mean, I think the one that I've seen sometimes on TikTok is like, oh, like everyone is a terrible actor on these things. And I'm like, I don't think that's fair. I think there's some brilliant actors in these series. I've worked with some of the most professional, talented actors, actresses in these series. And I know they've got huge careers ahead of them. They'll continue doing verticals, they'll continue doing huge budget Hollywood stuff. I think people are so hardworking. I think what I would like people to understand, I guess, is sometimes the way it's written and edited has a massive impact on how you might perceive the performance. Even the production design, the lighting, the way it looks and feels. If a Hollywood picture was lit and had that budget, you might not feel that those actors were as talented as they are. So much of the perception of a performance can be those factors. Yeah. So I think that's the one thing I would like people to understand is there's very, very talented, trained actors in these series who are just hungry to work, like we all are. We want to work.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, of all the vertical dramas that you've worked on, which one stands out as your favorite? And why does it hold that peculiar spot on your mind?
That's like choosing between children if I had children.
Well, we all have our favorite child, don't we?
Yes.
Oh, it's so hard.
Come on, Declan, you got this.
I have two, but I will pick
That's
one.
fine.
I will
pick two. Yeah, give us two.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
I think the vertical that I've become most known for most recently has been Pool Boy, which is the first one that Real Short did. That's probably the vertical that I had the biggest response to, I guess. And the reason that's in the top two is because that was the character that most closely mirrored my own story. But with Aiden, I got to live out dreams that I had when I was a kid, but never got, like falling in love in high school, with the making the bully love you, I guess, and having this whirlwind romance and going to prom. Like in Australia, we don't have prom. We don't have those kind of elements. So getting that American experience through a film was like just a dream come true. It was
Right,
incredible.
right.
So I loved that. I loved that character. And then the other favorite is the first, my personal liking, King Daniel, just because it's my first. As a
Course.
cast, we all became incredibly good friends. Like there's still some of my best friends to this day. Like I'm going to see them when I'm in Australia. And the whole filming experience was a joy from start to finish. So, and I think because we were all so kind of like naive at that time, it was like, oh, wow. And I don't know, it's just sweet.
Well, yeah, and you probably didn't even know what vertical, like, I mean, who knew what verticals was? Like, it was so new. And like, when I watched that very first one, I didn't think I would be so crazy. I mean, I'm just like, I hate to say this, but literally, I was just like, okay, this is just another vertical, like, you know, whatever. But now that I've gotten into it and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, it's just.
Now look at you. You're interviewing the actors.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. Okay. If someone were discovering your work for the first time and they wanted to know who Declan was, which vertical project would you tell them to start with?
I tell them what to not start with. Oh my gosh. Because I've definitely played like some very interesting characters that when I was just starting out that I'm like, that's that portion's done.
On all fours with a leash around your neck. Sorry.
All for Dorothy. All for Dorothy. I'll do anything for Dorothy.
She's amazing.
So look, I'd have to say Pool Boy because I'm in it. That's the one that I'm in the most. So if they're wanting to get a good sense of me as a performer, I'm going to promote my most recent. Let's go Pool Boy.
Pool Boy.
And look, you know, they're getting to know me because they're getting to see my whole body. So there's
I guess,
there you go.
Nothing is
so bad. Pool Boy, the name. Oh my god, it looked so dinky. I was surprised the name Pool Boy.
Yeah. Pool Boy. They kept it short and sweet.
I was surprised.
Which is very unusual for a vertical. Usually there's like
yeah, it would.
No, I was talking about the thongs where it said Pool Boy. I was surprised it stayed on the whole time.
Well, it didn't. That's the thing. It didn't. Did I?
No.
Okay. So those letters fell off constantly. So they constantly had to reapply it. And because there's so many scenes in that show where we're sitting by the pool and the water's splashing up. And so at one point the L fell off. So it was like Poo Boy. And then another time it was all the P. I think the culprits were the P and the L. The O stayed on. The boy stayed pretty intact, but the P and the L, that something was going on with that P and L. It was.
I don't know. I think it probably would have. I mean, it was a successful vertical, but I don't know, something about Pooh Boy.
It could have been a totally different show.
Exactly.
He could have been a plumber.
We'll just go there.
The sequel.
The sequel. There you go.
The sequel's about two tramps.
Maybe. I'd pitch it to Real Short.
No.
They'll do
thanks.
It. They'll do it.
What, you do it, Jennifer, not me. Oh my god. Next thing you know, they're taking the piss out of tramps. No.
You'll get commission for it.
No, thank you. I'm good. Okay. Whew. Moving on. Good boy. Okay. Is there a role or a project in the vertical format that really pushed you outside of your normal comfort zone?
Yeah. I think the first villain I played, Leon in Fated to Miss, was very confronting because that character was... Oh, I don't know if it was specified as such, but he was basically in love with the alpha character and was like sabotaging the the Luna and the Alpha, essentially, because he was so desperately in love with him. So it was my first time playing a villain, and I guess going to that place of like, how would you manipulate and control? Like, what if your love turned evil and it turned bitter, and you were so obsessed with someone that you decided to cross that line and manipulate and control? And I was very, very blessed with that role, because instead of the villain being really campy and over the top, and like, you know how in some of the verticals it's like slap, 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 you know,
Yeah.
you're da 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 da. This, they allowed me to not have any of that and just keep it all kind of beneath the surface. And it was a very controlled character. And I think, you know, that was the first time I like had died on screen, I guess. So that presents its own challenge as well. Technically, thinking about how you bring that out as well. And I wanted to do that character justice, because I didn't want it to be just like, oh, he's evil because he's gay kind of thing. I wanted it to be kind of like a tragic, like,
that was the one with oh my god, what's his name? Miles Clohessy, right?
Ethan Kirschbaum and Kira.
Oh, Ethan. Oh, yes, Ethan.
And
Ethan.
I was shocked.
Yes, Ethan.
They edited it beautifully. They edited it so well, and they did actually keep that arc of that character as
like literally
as really
he was dying, and he was like,
tragic.
I love you.
Yes, exactly. So that was really hard, but I'm really happy with what we got from that.
Yeah.
Well, you nailed it. You absolutely did. So pat on the back.
Oh.
You nailed it that good that I forgot the main lead's name. I thought it was Miles Clohessy.
No, because he's done one with Kira before, so you're probably
there's too many. Yeah, Ethan.
That one. I think I watched that one.
It's not the one where she's the weird one where she's like trying to heal him and he's on a wheelchair. No, it's not that one.
That's the one we did Faded to Miss just before that one Ethan and Kira did.
Okay. On the flip side, is there a particular scene from your vertical work that you're especially proud of?
Especially proud of. I think there's a scene in Pool Boy where it was like one of the most grounded moments of a vertical that I've ever done, and it's basically a scene where my co-star Sky, who plays Will, is telling me about his dad's dementia and how his dad had bullied him a lot as a kid. And in that moment, it just felt so incredible. It just felt like two people bearing their soul to each other. And when I looked at that, it felt very special in the moment. And then when I saw the scene, I was like, whoa, like I'm so impressed that they kept this, and how it came out. And what's really funny about that scene is the way we did it was, I think we did Sky's coverage first, and then we flipped to me. And so at the end of that scene, I'm basically like trying to hold his hand or comfort him, and he shuts me down. So he shuts me down, and he gets up and he walks away. And so the camera's on me, my coverage, and like he walks away, and I'm meant to have this moment of like devastation, and it's through my VO. And out of the corner of my eye, I just see Sky trip and go into the pool. He just like went ass over tit into the pool. And they don't call cut. So I'm just like staying in it. But I'm just seeing splash, splash, splash to the surface. And we only did one take. And that's the take you see in Pool Boy. It still ends like with this big VO from me going blah, 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 blah. And the longing moment. But just behind the scenes, just so you know, Sky's on the other side of that camera.
He's still falling in the pool.
Flailing up.
What a Wally or numpty. Oh my god. So, enough about Pooh Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Pooh Boy.
Pooh Boy.
When he said Pool Boy again, I was like, oh god, I'm just going to think about Pooh Boy.
Okay, it's okay. Call it whatever you want.
No, it just clicks in. I'm just, oh my god, no.
It's funny because like we had so I don't know, do you know Aaron Oberst?
Yes.
Like so
I'm
we
pretty
call
sure I
or I
referenced it.
call him Daddy December because he was Daddy December in the real short thing. So
Yeah.
yesterday we interviewed him yesterday. We'll cut this out. I'm not gonna put this in your interview, but
Yeah,
yeah,
all of us needs to be cut out.
we we interviewed him yesterday and I said, just so you know, just a fair warning, I may mistakenly call you.
Heads up.
And then he's like,
he's like,
call me
yeah.
Papa. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, he said, don't call me daddy, call me Papa.
No, thanks. I'm like, Mr.
But
Oberst.
but no, the reason why I brought that up is because instead of pool boy, we say poo boy.
You, you don't have to cut that out.
I am. Oh my god. No, this I'm cutting out about Erin. It's not your. It's not
Yeah,
his
it's not Aaron's
episode.
interview. It's your interview.
Yours. It's the Declan show.
I always like a reference to Aaron. I'm always there for that.
You need to do one
Yeah.
with him.
Sorry.
I said you need to do one with him.
We actually did. Like I came
Really?
into a show he did for like a hot second. Like, I don't even remember the name of the show. It was when I first moved to LA, but we just had one day on set together. Love him. Such a good guy.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy, like crazy in good way.
Goofball.
Yeah.
So funny.
Mhm.
Anyways, enough about that. Back on track.
Yep.
So, fans have connected deeply with your performances in the space. What kind of reactions or messages has, impacted or meant the most to you personally?
I always just find it like really exciting when someone says that it has brightened up their day, or it's given them joy, or because to me that's what entertainment is. It is a way to entertain, to escape reality, to feel a lot of different stuff. And obviously the verticals can go through a range of emotions, but to know that you've impacted someone and brought joy, that is always just so meaningful to me. And yeah, anytime I see a message like that or see a comment like that, it truly does touch me, because that means we're doing it for something, because sometimes you think, what's the purpose of what I'm doing? And like, how do I connect with a purpose to something bigger? And knowing that it makes someone happy, I think helps you connect to that purpose and why you're there on set. And so it's not just about you as well, because there's a tendency to get very wrapped up in your own world and what you have going on. And no, it's like, we're all in this together, and art can't exist without an audience. So it's a symbiotic relationship, and it doesn't really exist without people watching it, So we're we're co-creating the experience.
Yeah.
No,
And that's one of the reasons why me and Taha wanted to kind of create this podcast, is because like we wanted to kind of get like the deeper meaning of you guys. Like, who are you guys? Because you like you're your own people. I mean, you're not these vertical actors.
They are vertical actors. They're not these.
Well, no,
characters.
but you're not the vertical. Like, you're not. That's not who you are.
Not the characters.
Yeah, they're not the characters.
Yeah. So we've learned a lot of stuff. So but so that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this.
Yeah. There's a lot behind the scenes with every person, and for you guys as well.
Yeah. Oh, was it my turn?
Oh,
we're just over here just like gabbing away. I'm like, okay.
I love that.
How do you approach character development when each episode is only just like a few minutes long?
I think it's like treating it as a film. Right. Truly, I think because they are generally the same length as a feature. You've got if you're lucky, you get your whole character's arc, and you know what's going to happen, what journey they're going to go on, if there's any changes to them. So I think you just approach it as a cohesive whole when you get the script. And I think for me with character development, so much of it is that person's physicality, the way they walk, the way they would talk,
Mm.
How confident are they? How young are they? Are they naive? Are they hopeful? Are they a bit jaded and worn down by the world? Like all those things I try and glean from the script because so much of that influences that person,
Mhm.
and how they would present. So, for example, like two recent roles, like I did a show called Matrimony on Viglu,
Mm.
Yeah.
and that character was like a kind of wannabe rock star dog walker, and then Aiden in Pool Boy was like a young little nerd. So even just like thinking about the way they would carry themselves differently and what life experiences they've had up to that point, like maybe Jake was a struggling artist and this is his job to get by, and how that seeps in. So you just think about all that stuff that's come
Yeah.
before what you see on screen, and that to me is my personal process. Yeah.
Well, now, do you create backstory? Because, like, with these verticals, there's not like it's hard to create backstories because there's not a lot of time to do it. So, do you create backstories for your characters to kind of?
Yeah, I usually like to think of like some pivotal things. As you said,
Mhm.
it's sometimes a truncated process. Sometimes you have the luxury of a bit more time, but
Yeah.
I usually like to think about a couple of pivotal things that I feel are integral, that are going to influence that person and how they would relate and react to things. So, for example, if there's pre-baked chemistry or there's a pre-baked attraction, like there was with Jake and Matrimony, I'm
Mhm.
wanting to think about like the first time I met her and things
Yeah.
like that. I want to know things like that going in, so that there's something to draw from,
Yeah.
because like for that show, that was not the first time those characters met. Is when we see them on screen, they'd already met before. So I like to think about that stuff, even if it's just one or two things that help you get a more well-rounded person, particularly if the character is referencing things from the past, during the show. With Aiden, a big part of his story was that his father had left. So I
Right.
want to know what happened that night that he left, or what was it like waking up that morning when he had gone? Because then when
Yeah.
there's the big confrontation later with the dad, there's something to come from. Because if you don't have that moment of waking up and thinking, where's he gone? How can you feel anything in
Right.
that
Yeah.
moment?
Exactly.
So acting can be very emotionally demanding, especially on fast-paced sets, such
Mhm.
as the verticals themselves. How do you protect your mental health and stay afloat?
Yeah. I think it's having that time after set where you kind of come back to yourself,
Mhm.
and
Right.
that drive home. I think it's so important to just switch off, come back to yourself, eat some dinner, have a hot shower, and just be in your body and your life. I won't lie to you. Sometimes when you finish filming, it can feel very jarring, especially if you've been a lead, to come back to your normal life and be
Yeah.
like, because the stories are essentially fairy tales. Verticals are essentially fairy tales. So
It's
you're
Yeah.
going,
fantasy.
yeah. So you're going through high highs, very, very high highs, and very, very low lows. So sometimes it does feel weird. It's like, okay, now I'm going to the supermarket. Like now I'm going to just wash my clothes and fold and clean. So it is a process, but you just have to have good friends, good routines, things you enjoy in your life, like anything, the cornerstones of mental health, like all
Yeah.
the support, rituals, all that stuff helps a ton.
No, absolutely.
Looking at the industry as a whole, do you see vertical dramas as the future of storytelling or more as a creative stepping stone toward larger projects?
I think that verticals will be here to stay. I
Yeah.
think they'll continue to evolve. I think they will be like a feature of our industry landscape. So that I think
Mhm.
people will always want to go to the cinema. People will always want to watch Netflix at home on the TV. People will want to watch soap operas. They will want to watch reality TV, and they'll want to watch verticals. It's just a different
Yeah.
medium. It's something that's accessible and quick and more simplistic sometimes in its themes. It's like like I
Mhm.
said, that fairy tale for the phone, and I think it's here to stay because we
Yeah,
are using phones more. I think it's here to stay. And I can see
exactly.
it being, a big part of the industry, a big part of an actor's work.
Yeah. Well, and if it's going to be here to stay, which I agree with you, I 100% feel like it's going to be here to stay.
Yeah.
I think that they need to start implementing it in acting school, like when they're teaching on how different. Because I didn't realize how different filming is versus a horizontal and vertical, but they don't teach that
Yeah.
when in drama school.
Yeah. I think you just got to be prepared to move a lot faster and really know your
Yeah.
material and nail things right out of the bat. It's essentially like theater in a way. Like you're definitely not projecting in the same way you would theater, but the
Hmm.
pace and the immediacy and getting it right is very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how do you unwind or recharge after long filming days?
um, I am a big reader. I love to read. That's
Mhm.
the reading takes me out of my own head, to be
Yeah.
honest. Reading
Yeah.
and journaling, and then I'm usually drooling on my pillow.
Aw.
Like that, yeah.
Well,
That's TMI, too much information.
I mean, taking a nap, nothing is wrong with that.
Yeah, no, well, exactly. I mean, I'm a fiend. If we get a 20-minute break, if I can find a place to nap on set, I will get that place.
hmm yeah. So when people hear the name Declan Clifford, what do you hope that they think of?
Not Pooh Boy.
Oh boy.
Not Pooh Boy.
I forever just want them to sing Declan Clifford, Pooh Boy.
No, please don't.
No, oh gosh, it's a hard thing. It's hard. I just hope that they would think um, this is something that we can enjoy and watch. Like we trust Declan to give us a good experience and um, give us something that we really enjoy watching. That if he's part of it, something that we're going to enjoy and have fun, and that's a worthy use of our time. I can't ask for much more than that. And I think on the behind the scenes aspect, I would always hope that people would find me to be kind and warm and professional as well.
Mhm.
Someone that they can trust on their set. I go out. I think as a bullied kid, I always go out of my way to make everyone feel important and welcome, and that's something that's really important to me. That everyone feels that because I know how it feels on the opposite, to feel excluded and feel
Yeah.
less than. So that's personally very important to me.
Yeah.
No, of course, of course. And the last question for tonight for you is, what keeps Declan Clifford grounded?
My friends who are not in the acting industry, who are like nurses and saving lives, and I can have a problem where I go, oh, blah, 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 and they go, yeah, like this just happened at work today, and this person was bleeding, and I'm like, oh, yeah,
Yep.
that's people are living life.
Light bulb.
Yes, I'd say my best friend Skylar. She's a nurse, and she whenever I need a grounding, she's very grounding for me.
Perfect.
Now, were they obviously they were friends before you got into acting?
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll
it's
definitely keep you grounded. They're like,
yeah,
don't get don't make your
yeah,
head go too big.
exactly. Remember when you did this? Remember
Yeah,
when you got blackout drunk on vodka?
yeah.
She-
Okay,
that girl's got
so
skeletons on me. If she ever turned against me, it's bad.
Oh no. Well, let's hope that we always make her happy.
Yeah, exactly.
mhm.
Two truths and a lie.
And the score is 19 to 25.
Oh, who's winning?
Jennifer. She's the stalker.
Okay.
It's called research.
So my three things are I can't sleep without the sound of a dishwasher. I cover myself head to toe in moisturizer 3 times a day. And before I started acting, I actually studied fashion at university.
Didn't he do a whole LLB?
Huh?
After the law
LLB.
degree.
He's done a whole law degree. Where did fashion
Oh,
come,
law
come
degree.
from?
Yeah, but he said he studied fashion.
Started studying.
Yes. Oh,
Dishwasher.
started
Oh,
studying.
God.
Oh, in a
So
dishwasher.
after law
Well, it
school,
depends.
before
He didn't specifically say a dishwasher. It could really be the sound of a dishwasher on his phone that plays
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That could be true.
I mean,
Three
I can't
times a
sleep without the
day.
sound of rain.
I can sleep through bloody anything. Earthquake going on, I'll sleep through that shit too. It doesn't bother me. Right. The second option, 3 times a day. I do it twice, mate. What? You that ashy?
From head to toe, though?
I mean, he is glowing. Don't you see him? This is actually really tough.
Okay, I know mine.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
know.
Taha.
I seriously do not know. I'm not going to choose the same one as you, so go ahead and blurt out
Okay,
yours. So
I'm going to do the fashion one.
he probably did good at fashion. Oh my god. Moisturizer not 3 times a day. You're an actor. You don't have time for that. It's probably like 2 times a day or something like that. I'm going with that.
Okay, we locked it in.
locked it in, am I allowed to reveal?
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Jennifer got it.
Oh.
So I looked at the course perspective, but I never actually did it.
Mm.
Mm.
The moment he said it should have been an obvious right there because he did law.
But 3 times a day?
Yeah, my skin gets
Ew.
super dry. I don't.
Do you have like eczema or something?
That,
Sorry.
Hi, vertical fans. I have eczema.
sorry.
No, I love it. No, surely I keep it real around here. No, because like I shower in the morning and the night because like I get so sweaty on set. Like I just feel like a little sweat ball. And yeah, and like through the day as well, they kind of like put so much powder on us sometimes that it's just like cakes into pores and it's just like,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get all that steam to release all of that. No.
Okay,
Exactly.
and then the first one. Oh, yeah, tell us about the dishwasher.
I don't know. It's just something that's happened. I just find it very soothing. And now I get anxious if I can't hear the dishwasher or the YouTube playlist.
I was about to say you're not washing dishes every bloody night in a dishwasher. Makes sense. Oh well,
Okay.
congratulations, Jennifer, for that, and
Well done.
congratulations to the rest of you who got that correct.
Yes.
Now we are going to move on to a very special
Ooh.
rapid fire, fully customly made / built for our friendly Aussie.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. What's something people don't know about you?
That I also have a nutrition degree. I should throw that in there. I don't think I
Awesome.
said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Tim Tams or Oreos?
Tim Tams.
Of course. Even I would say Tim Tams.
Easy.
Favorite Aussie slang word?
Barbie. I just love Barbie. Like, barbecue Barbie.
Yeah.
Around for a Barbie.
I'll tell you off camera. Vegemite, love it or hate it?
Love it.
What's your biggest turn on?
Speedos.
Okay. Hemsworth brothers or the Jonas brothers?
Hemsworth. Easy.
Yes.
Bondi Beach or Malibu Beach?
Malibu.
Sunrise shoot or night shoot?
Sunrise. For sure.
What's one Aussie habit you think Americans should try?
Aussie habit that Americans should try. Eating Vegemite on toast. Vegemite on toast is awesome. No Americans do it.
I mean,
Because we don't like it.
But it's because you haven't got the butter to Vegemite ratio right.
there you go. And the butter back home tastes much better than the crap we have here.
The butter is really important. Really
Mm-hmm.
cool.
It is. It truly is. Christmas in the summer or Christmas in the winter?
Winter. Ugh, Australians are gross. How can we have Christmas in summer? It's so gross.
Oh,
Christmas
not
is meant
you
to be
dissing
joy.
your own
I,
stuff. Oh my
I'm dissing
god.
it. Revoke
Oh
my passport.
no. What's playing on your Spotify right now?
Right now, it's Taylor Swift's new album.
I haven't got to listen to that
Literally,
yet.
Yeah,
I've listened to a few and
pretty
okay.
good. Pretty good.
Yeah, she killed it. Kangaroos or koalas?
Kangaroos.
Saying mate or dude.
Dude, I'm becoming Californian.
D- okay. Favorite kind of quiz? Kiss. Quick and playful or slow and meaningful?
So meaningful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sydney skyline or New York skyline?
New York.
Yeah.
I'm the best in the world.
Vegemite toast or peanut butter and jelly toast?
Oh, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut butter jelly.
Yeah. Nothing beats that too. What's one thing you always pack when traveling?
Moisturizer.
Well, yeah,
You gotta
bloody,
do it
you're
three
doing it
times a
three
day.
times a day. You do have to have a bloody bottle of that in your bag. Yeah, makes sense. Um, neighbors or friends?
Oh, like the show. I was like, huh?
Mm.
Friends. Friends. Sorry,
Oh,
neighbors.
neighbors. Well, yeah, I
No,
guess Friends is a classic.
Friends is a classic.
Yeah. Surfing Byron Bay or surfing California?
Byron Bay.
Byron Bay. All right. What's your love at first sight moment story?
Love at first sight moment. So, well, I
Yeah.
guess the moment I saw my husband, like, yeah, I'm walking into a bar to meet him for the first time.
Okay. And by the way, that was very lucrative. You could have said, when I saw this puppy and I fell in love with this puppy. It
Oh,
could be anything. I'm sorry.
I chose one.
I,
I chose.
That was a
it's
trick
okay. It's
question.
okay. I guess it was. It's up to one's interpretation.
Yeah.
I take anything. Outback Steakhouse or In and Out Burger?
Steakhouse. I like steak.
Mm. AFL or NFL?
AFL.
Saying good on ya or good job?
Good job. Good job.
Lamingtons or apple pie?
Apple pie.
Okay, apple pie. There we go. Next. Thongs or sliders?
Thongs.
Right. Summer in Australia or winter in LA?
Winter in LA. I can't cope with the heat.
Melbourne Comedy Festival or Sunday Night Live?
Melbourne Comedy Festival. That's where I got my roots. That's where I started.
Which has the better beaches? California or Queensland?
Ah,
Mm.
I'm gonna say California, but ah.
Come on, the Gold Coast. Come on.
They're both amazing. They're both amazing. We're
That's
very
fine.
both blessed.
What's the most Aussie thing you've ever said?
Everyone here makes fun of me when I say I'll even do it in an American accent. I'll say heaps, and apparently that's not a thing that Americans say. Like,
It's not. Oh,
yeah,
there's heaps of it. No,
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 no. They'll say that
heaps are fine.
there's tons of it instead.
Tons of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone always looks at me like,
Oh.
what?
Yeah, no, I get it. If you had to blend Aussie and US culture into one perfect day, what would that look like?
Into a perfect day.
Right, yes.
Okay. So, you would start with breakfast at a diner, very American,
Mm.
and then in the middle of the day, you would go like, or actually after your diner, you would go for like a beach walk. Maybe
Mm.
that could be like a fusion of both. You could have either. And
Mm.
then in the like late afternoon, early evening, you're having a barbecue, very, very Australian. Maybe you're
Barbie.
playing some cricket in the backyard. That's very
Mm.
Aussie. And
Mhm.
then because we're in Hollywood, you're going to the movies. on after your Barbie because we're in Hollywood and that's very American.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. And what would you call that day?
I'd call it. Oh my god, what would I call that day? I'd call it. I'd call it. Kangamerican. Kangamerican.
I was gonna say Ozerican, but okay. That's fine. Kangarican, that's fine.
Kangarican. Half kangaroo, half American.
As if America is an animal. Latest vertical you watched?
Oh my gosh, it's I haven't watched it all, but straight into He Kissed Me.
Oh, the one on Good Shorts with Evan. Yeah, okay,
Greg
I heard that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love them both, so I support Greg and Evan.
First job that you've ever had before entertainment?
I was a waiter at a cafe, and I got fired because I am very clumsy.
Oh no. Well, at least it wasn't a Sonic where you had to wear rollerblades and
that would be hard.
Do they wear rollerblades where you're at?
Yes, they do.
They don't at our place. I guess they know that rollerblades are back because they don't have it.
They don't have it in the city. I actually had to go out to Long Island for that.
Oh,
so it's like out there. Yeah.
This is not a very rapid fire, but
it's not. It's not. It's more like Australia versus America with a Brit. I don't know. Anyways, what's the last thing that made you laugh out loud?
What's the last thing that made me laugh out loud? I'm trying to think of this rapidly for you.
No! Don't get nervous. I was just teasing.
Yeah, we're nearly done.
What made me
and you can't say poo boy because you really didn't laugh out too loud on that. It was me who did.
That's true. That's true. I think just like actually probably like the last thing. My husband and I, when we wake up, sometimes we like imitate verticals. So like I'll wake up and I'll be like, "You're not the CEO," and then vertical slap. So we just like imitate verticals together, and that's pretty funny. I don't actually slap him. We're just pretending.
Well, taking improv a little. Okay.
Well, I do want to say one thing though, so because from our viewers, so the viewers know that thongs, because I know that's going to be like, oh my god, he asked them about thongs or some
Australian
for flip flops.
Yes,
I don't need anybody asking us saying you asked Declan about thongs.
Yeah, maybe preface the interview with that.
Yeah, there you go.
I should give like a disclaimer. I have 3 more. So destiny or choice.
Choice.
Passion or peace.
Peace.
And the last one is truth that hurts or lie that comforts.
Lie that comforts.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't. Well, thank you very much for participating in that very Aussie.
That was amazing.
Rapid fire. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm going to open the floor for you to ask us any questions if you have any.
Well, I'd love to know what you guys like want to see more of in verticals and what you're enjoying about verticals right now and what would you like to see more of, less of?
Well, I'm going to give 2 different answers. One that I would like to see more of is like horror and thrillers.
Yeah.
And then also the other one that I want to see more of, and I haven't been saying this recently, is reverse age gap. Like let's see an older woman and a younger man. Let's get stop with the older men and younger women. Let's get the older women in here.
She wants those cougar stories to come out.
Yes.
Yes. Because
older
women deserve love too.
You could be the little cougar boy.
I could.
There you go, Declan.
There we go. Let's cast it. Real shorts.
Exactly. You guys got to spearhead this campaign for me.
No, Jennifer. What's her name? No, it's not Kaylin. What? It's
Oh,
pronounced with a C.
Karen.
Karen. Karen
Karen
and
Smolinski.
Karen Smolinski and Declan Clifford.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
And it's interesting because she is an older woman, and she's been trying to get like the older actors and actresses like in the spotlight, because it seems
Right.
like she and I agree. It seems like the older actors and actresses are kind of like they don't get cast as
They're just
much.
pushed on
They're
the
not
side.
getting paid as much. They're not get so and they're, I mean, some of them are, I mean, really, really pivotal to some of these verticals. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's why we mentioned her being a reverse age gap. So
I love that.
I'm pretty sure she would love to play that, and Declan would be perfect for
Thanks.
it.
I agree.
I already have it envisioned. He's at the strip club and she's there, and then, you know, he falls on her laps and then she takes him home, and then a love story blooms.
You've written the concept.
In my mind, I just did. There you go.
Obsessed. But agree, we should be sharing around the love and the spotlight. Agree.
No, absolutely. All right. Well, before this turns south.
wait a minute, hold on.
What?
You didn't tell them what you
Oh,
wanted.
I just pitched the whole vertical. What else do you want me to say?
Well,
I
that's
think I'm
not the
done.
vertical you want to see.
Yeah.
What do
There
you
we
want to see
go.
in vertical?
I want to see Declan and her together in a vertical. There we go. And I will
Okay.
wait. I will do vertical celibacy until that comes out. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Any more questions? You can ask off camera.
I'm trying to think anything else. Okay, one last question for you. What is the vertical that shocked you both the most? Either you fell in love with it or you hated it, like you had the strongest reaction to.
Light My Fire. It has an Aussie in it too. What's his name? Tommy Karasik.
Okay, Light My Fire. Yeah, okay. I've got to look it up.
I know he dies in the end. I'm just like, bloody hell, man.
Oh,
Yeah, like he could have been saved. Like shit.
yeah.
I know.
I don't know, but these who can say candy jar.
Short.
Some of these recent ones, like the little high school, it's bringing back nostalgia. Like they're very nostalgic. I'm like they had, and I always butcher the name. In Love with My Brother's Best Friend. Then there was the recent one, Coming of Age.
Yeah.
And then they just had another one, and it was amazing because the main lead was a plus size girl.
Amazing.
But it wasn't in a bad light.
Great.
Like the bad boy fell in love with her. So I'm like, that was amazing.
Yes. Candy Jar is doing some great shows.
And they're the only app that does sequels to any of them.
Yeah, and they've got they're fantastic. I think their verticals look really cinematic as well, and doing really cool stuff.
Yeah. Do you think Pool Boy would get a sequel?
Never say never. Never say never.
Yeah.
We can call it Poo Boy. Perfect.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't think Real Short has done sequels before. I know some apps have.
Really?
I don't think Real Short has ever done.
No, they haven't. No,
but
they've done. They've done. So I know Breaking the Ice did really good, but they basically did a medieval version of that.
Yes. Yep.
But like put a little twist, but not like a continuation or anything.
The story.
Like
Yeah. Who knows what the future holds? It's an exciting world.
It truly is. From lawyer to looking at dead salmon to getting bullied for being Tasmanian on the main Australian mainland to then coming into Hollywood and then getting on all fours for Dorothy and then being Pooh Boy and then just being an awesome human. Thank you so much.
I've lived a crazy life. Thank you both.
Thank you so much for coming on. I will link all of your socials in the description box below. And for the rest of you, thank you for staying on. And I'll change my accent to my regular one now. Thank you very much. And until next time. Peace.
Obsessed. Peace.